this is Priya, and in today's video we're gonna solve a question regarding Cloze Test. So I have explained what are Cloze Test, how it is solved, what are the points to be remembered in our previous video. So here in this video we're gonna solve with a passage, with a paragraph. So I'm gonna write down a paragraph, and through that I'll explain you how to really solve a passage, or how to keep things in the mind and how to figure out the options which are given. So let's get started. Let's look into the passage which I have written down on the board. Let me read it out and then we'll solve the problem or solve the passage. I dash the first flat we lived in dash our marriage very well. Full stop. I was not dash much and Radha was dash a student. So our weekly income was very small, and we simply dash to find a cheap flat dash looking over lots of places. We dash found one that we could dash, and it was not too uncomfortable. There was a big sitting room and a tiny kitchen, just big dash for one dash to get dash. We had to share a bathroom with the people in the next flat. Ours was on the first floor, directly over a dash and shop, and although the smell of the fruit was quite dash, comma dash of some of the vegetables was not dash agreeable. So here when I read out the passage, did you notice one thing? Yes, I did notice when I was reading. See, sometimes it happens when you read out a passage, immediately you will not get to know what it is, but you will have some idea about the passage. So here when I was reading out, I made a notice that this passage, someone is narrating about their experience about looking for a house or a flat, something. So here this is about an experience of a person who is narrating about finding a house for themselves. So how difficult it was for them, or how they went through finding a flat for them. So this is how the passage are given in the examinations, and do not worry, because they won't give just the blanks. They will also provide few of the options for each blank, and you need to choose or figure out the appropriate one which fills the blank. So here we have totally 15 blanks, and for each blank now I'll be reading out the options which are provided, and we'll try to solve them by putting on the appropriate choices. So we're gonna see which word suits the better. So here when they have given 5 options: recollect, remember, forget, decorate, furnish, here I'll use the method elimination, eliminating the words. So when I have got the 5 words here, definitely decorate and furnish cannot be taken, cannot be considered. We cannot consider forget also. I forget the first flat, no, it wouldn't come. So the options left is recollect and remember. You cannot say I recollect the first flat. No, we cannot use that. That is not grammatically correct. So the only option left with is I remember the first flat we lived in. So this becomes our most right option. I remember the first flat we lived in dash our marriage very well. So here when the second options are given as before, during, in, after, for. So the most eliminating options can be, we cannot use in again, so it is eliminated. We cannot use for our marriage, that is eliminated. We cannot use during our marriage very well, no. So the only options we left is after. So what do people usually generally in our life? We can live together only after our marriage, right? So this becomes our most appropriate, or as I have said in the rules or points to keep it in our mind, the words which are frequently used after our marriage very well. So the second option comes as after. I remember the first flat we lived in after our marriage very well. I was not dash much. So here the third options are obtaining, earning, paying, gaining, collecting. So the one which we need to eliminate is I was not dash much. So you cannot use paying, you cannot use gaining, you cannot use obtaining. So here, and also you cannot use I was collecting much. So all these options are easily, it can be eliminated, and the only leftover option I felt is I was not earning much. So, and Radha was dash a student. The fourth options are given as just, hardly, firmly, fast, chiefly. So, I was not earning much and Radha was dash a student. So here the options which can be eliminated are hardly student, firmly student, fast student, chiefly. So all these can be eliminated at the first go itself. So we are left with just a student. So this suits the best. So our weekly income was very small and we simply dash to find a cheap flat. So here our weekly income was very small and we simply dash to find a cheap flat. So the options are have, had, will have had, would have. So the options which can be eliminated are of course will have had, would have. So we have it now, have and had we are left with. So very small and we simply have to find a cheap flat? No, since it comes in a past tense, so we have to use had. So these are very basic. Had to find a cheap flat. The sixth options are given as upon, in, after, about, at. So flat dash looking over lots of places. So cheap flat dash looking over lots of places. Here the ones which can be eliminated are we cannot use upon, we cannot use in, we cannot use cheap flat after looking, and we cannot use at also. So here all these options are eliminated and we are left with about. Cheap flat, about, looking over lots of places. Next, we dash found one that we could dash and it was not too uncomfortable. Seventh options are given as would, have, will, had, could. So here we cannot use the options which gets eliminated are would have, or we have found, no, or will and could. All these gets eliminated. So what do we say it? We are left with had. We had found one that we could. Eighth options are sell, rent out, give away, afford, use. So it makes the sentence very clear. So here when you are talking about something which they can take it. You can relate the words. So here you cannot use the words sell, rent out, give away, use. The only option we are left with is afford. Yes. So we had found one that we could afford and it was not too uncomfortable. There was a big sitting room and a tiny kitchen, just big dash for one. So the 9th options are about, advocate, efficient, afford, enough. So when we want to eliminate the options, here I can eliminate just big, I can eliminate about, advocate, efficient and afford. So all these options get eliminated because we really can't use just big afford, just big efficient, just big advocate or about. So here the option we are left with is enough, just big enough for. So here again the rule which we are using is frequently used words. For one. Next, for the 10th option is group, family, personal, get-together, party. So when you're reading a paragraph, as I said, you need to interlink with each sentences. So when I'm saying here, just big enough for one, one group, no, they're not talking about the group. One personal, no. Get together, party, no. These all options get eliminated when you look into the sentences prior to it. So here the option left with is family. So as a family, they're looking for one flat which fits the better. So here we write family. To get dash. And for the 11th, options are about, by, along, down, in. So the right options is family, to get in, right, or to get along. So the options which get eliminated are about, by, down. So here you get confused with along and in. So you might think like family to get in or family to get along. So here you cannot use get in because they're not just getting in, they're going together, along. So the right option comes here is along. We had to share a bathroom with the people in the next flat. Ours was on the first floor, directly over 12th dash. So the 12th options are grocers, mercantile, sweetmeats, retail, greengrocers. So when you are looking into the options, we can read out again directly over the dash shop. So here we can eliminate the options like grocer shop, no. Mercantile shop, no. Sweetmeat shop, no. Retail, no. So the best suitable options here is the greengrocers. So we're gonna write as so you might be thinking like, why did I choose greengrocers? Because here all the options which were mentioned, they all are almost similar. I could have just written anything or you could have chosen anything, but why that? Because it's a paragraph and we have to read the sentences again and again. So here when you're seeing directly over a dash shop, and next to read the next line, and although the smell of fruit was quiet. So when we are seeing fruit and dash of some of the vegetable was not dash agreeable. So here when you are seeing fruit, vegetables, so what does it comes under? It doesn't comes under grocers, mercantile, sweetmeats, retail. It comes under green grocers. So that's why I have mentioned the green grocers. Well, let's moving on. Shop, and although the smell of the fruit was quite dash, so here the options are smelly, stinking, pleasant, dislikable, sad. Well, fruits doesn't smell stinky. So that option can be eliminated. So they are not smelly, they are not stinky, they are not dislikable, and they are not sad. So fruits are always pleasant smell, right? So we take that as an option, the suitable option. Next, fruit was quite pleasant. Dash. Again, for the 14th options are which, that, who, where, the. So we'll read out the sentences. And although the smell of the fruit was quite pleasant, dash of some of the vegetables was not. So here the options which can get eliminated are which of some, no, that's get eliminated. Who, where, the, all gets eliminated. The only possible answer is that. So pleasant, that, of, some of the. So here that of some of the vegetable was not dash agreeable. So here the last options are quite, too much, far, so has, but. So read out again. Some of the vegetable was not dash agreeable. So the eliminated words are which we can eliminate are like too much, far agreeable, so has, but. So I think all these words doesn't fit in there. The only option I'm left with is was not quite agreeable, right? So we're gonna write down quite agreeable. So we have filled in the blanks completely, all 15 words, and now after filling in we're gonna read it out again and let's see whether it makes sense. I remember the first flat we lived in after our marriage very well. I was not earning much and rather was just a student. So our weekly income was very small and we simply had to find a cheap flat about looking over lots of places. We had found one that we could afford and it was not too uncomfortable. There was a big sitting room and a tiny kitchen just big enough for one family to get along. We had to share a bathroom with the people in the next flat. Ours was on the first floor directly over a greengrocer's shop. And although the smell of the fruit was quite pleasant, that of some of the vegetable was not quite agreeable. So yes, here you see, the sentence completely makes sense and I feel it's completely right, correct, and of course it is. So this is how you find it out. This is how when you get the options, you eliminate the options first and then you see, you figure out which suits the best. So after filling also, every time you keep on reading it or you keep on reading it again and again. Read it again and again so that the sentences make sense, the word fits in properly, the better. And once it is done, you read it again and again, over and over again. So that's how it's done. So here in this video we saw, I took for example one passage and I showed you how to figure out or how to find out the better or the best suitable options out of lot of options, and how to figure them out and how to adjust them, write them properly. So this is how you actually figure out the options, actually think, read. You have to experiment, and this cannot be done within 1 or 2 practice. You need to practice lots and lots of paragraph, lots and lots of passages. You have to do lots of reading. Only then you can be able to suit the words best to its point. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you really enjoyed this video. If you really enjoyed, hit subscribe button, like the channel, and also comment and share. Thank you so much.